Konnichiwa YouTube! Welcome back to Archeage 2.0 with your host OnlyOneShinobi, and as you can see, I'm over here on Morpheus standing by my Yatta statues. I'm not sure why, but they're not moving. Yeah, but as you can see, I planted a bunch of Yatta, and I'm planning to try to get some Yatta mounts, as well as selling the fur for profit. And today I'm bringing you an episode on how to make gold with husbandry. So many of you are asking for gold guides, which I think is natural. Making gold in this game can be quite complicated, and there are a lot of things to do. So I met with one of my subs over on the PTS server. Shout out to Mayorofswag. Thanks for finding me and killing me and then talking with me. I promised Mayorofswag that we'd talk about husbandry first because he's been asking for this for a while. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to make gold using husbandry. It's been a little while since my last video, and this is mostly because husbandry is really complicated. You've got a lot of different animals, and the animals give you a lot of different materials, including wool, fur, feathers, poop, fresh fertilizer from the pens like this. Also things like pelts when you slaughter them, and there's a whole bunch of labor involved and costs, including the costs of making pens and things like that. So it's taken me a while to kind of pull up or work up a Excel sheet for this, but I do have sort of a working Excel sheet, a very simple one, to calculate the costs of husbandry and choosing which animal to raise. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Excel sheet today and talk about how you can use this, and I will post it in the link to this description in a Dropbox. So if you'd like to use the Excel sheet, you can go ahead and download it. We're going to take a look at that, and then we're going to get to husbandry. Alright, so here we are in the Excel sheet, and what we've done here is I've created a tab. You may recognize this from my agriculture video, and we'll be updating the agriculture gold stuff in a future episode. Today we're going to take a look at husbandry. So if you go to the third tab here, you'll notice husbandry gold calculations. Now there are a few things to note. This does not include rare procs, so the things like the golden eggs or raw chicken, organic melt, etc. These are not included in the calculations. This also does not factor in the cost of purchasing the baby animals. It also does not factor the cost of crafting cages or pens. So actually, with this first one, it's going to be a little bit more profit, and these last two are going to be a little more cost. So these costs are not exactly accurate. It's just sort of a general idea of what the income is going to be like. This is mostly for labor efficiency. So if you're curious about what is most labor efficient, this is labor to gold, not the costs of the materials, but how much labor you're spending and how much gold you're getting for that labor. This is what the chart is going to show you. Now there are a few steps. It's pretty simple to use. First, all you need to do is find the workers' compensation price for your server. Over on Kyrios, workers' comps are now 56 gold, so we put that in there, and this will automatically calculate the gold cost per labor point, which is roughly 5.6 silver over here. Okay, that's step one. Step two is you need to go to your auction house and look up these items. Now these are mostly the harvestable and butcherable products. Again, it does not include rare procs. So things like, the Polaris cubs or Yatta calves or golden fleece from sheep, these things are not included. So if you get something like that, your income is going to jump up a little bit. So that's good to remember. Now, all of this currency is in gold. So you can see here 0.0380 for bear fur. This means it's 3 silver and 80 copper for 1 bear fur. That's basically what this is here. So make sure that you have the gold values for all of this. Just put some decimals in. Now this is what took forever. So basically I have animals here, single animals, and then with the P for pens or coops. And you'll see all that here. We've also included beehives. I have not included larders, crafting larders or crafting the pens and selling them on the auction house. That's something that we can do in a later episode, but this is just for harvesting livestock and deciding what to choose. Now, over here then this is the data for the Curios server. Workers' comp is 56. These are the current prices on the AH. And as you can see over here in the profit section, nothing is profitable in harvests. So, if the rare procs would really increase the value of this, then we've got that option. So if you're max level proficiency at like 180,000 husbandry, you might actually start making a profit off of these. But right now, everything looks pretty damn horrible, especially beehives. I mean, beehives are a 30 gold loss per hive per harvest. And that's mostly because the labor it costs to harvest this is 33 gold in just labor costs. That's half a worker's compensation, and you're only getting 4 gold profit from the honey. So making honey and farming honey really is not profitable. I might take my hives down, actually. The only thing that is profitable over here is butchering, and I'm not exactly sure the butchering costs of the pens. So things like this, for example, or here Yata pens looks like 27 gold profit, but the cost to make the pens hasn't been included, so I'm going to advise against that. If you are on Curios and you're looking to, or you're on the Curios auction house cluster and you're looking to make a profit with husbandry, the only thing that looks like it's making a profit right now is water buffalo. So you can see here that the buffalo will yield a 2.4 gold return on each single buffalo, and that's mostly from pelts and beef. Now I'm not sure how much these costs because I'm not looking at it right now, but you can see that it's still a quite low amount. So I know some of these cost 1 or 2 gold for the calf. So if and this could be an expensive one, then your profits are going to be a little bit lower than that. The only other thing that might be profitable over on Curios would be bears or Yata, and that's mostly because with bears and Yata, you don't actually have to harvest every single creature. You just harvest the males and wait for them to get horny and produce babies with the females, and those babies will proc and give you some income. But that hasn't been factored into this sheet. Now, what I've done over here is also added a history chart, so you can actually tally up dates and values so you can track trends and which products are going to be good for you. I've also included the data from Morpheus. So let's go ahead and grab this data and go back to the husbandry sheet. Now, on Morpheus server, workers' compensations are only about 22 gold, so we'll change that value quickly here. We'll go ahead and paste the information here in the sheet. So now we have our data for Morpheus. It's pretty simple. And we're going to go ahead and take a look here. So on Morpheus server, we've got a few options. For example, honey right now is extremely profitable, 22 gold per harvest. And that's because acorn beehives are really expensive to make, probably around 100 gold in value. And we talked about that in our husbandry video as well. So if you can get a hive farm up and running, and you harvest every 4 days, you can make 22 gold per hive per harvest every 4 days, and that's going to be profitable for you. Other things to note, I suppose, in terms of harvesting, we've got here, this is sheep, and this is mostly because fabric is still quite profitable right now. People are using that for ships, so every sheep is worth about 80 silver, or 8 gold per sheep pen. Which is actually quite good. However, sheep pens on Morpheus are going for about 40 gold each right now, so I can't really afford to do that. Other things that you will note, chickens are often touted as one of the best coops to produce. You can see chicken pens here though are 50 silver each, whereas things like ducks are roughly the same, and geese are actually 2 gold, 64 silver. Now, so if I were you, I would put down goose pens if you're wanting fresh fertilizer. That's probably going to be the fastest way to go. Every 6 hours you can do that. Other things here to note, cow pens are only 2 gold 45, so it's actually more profitable to do geese, for example. And then finally over here for leather, you can see then that, let's see, yatas will give you a nice amount of profit. We're looking at 4 gold there. We're looking at 8 gold for goat pens. Again, I'm not going to advise that. But you'll see here, cows and water buffalo are roughly the same. So 9 gold 60 for cows and 10 gold 30 for water buffalo. Now this is only a marginal difference. So if the cost of cows is actually cheaper than buffalo, then you might actually want to go with cows. And this is an interesting thing to note. I hadn't really considered that. So this chart is going to be really good for you, as you can see. Again, it's not perfect, and in a future episode, we can add in these other things, and I will update you when we do. But it's going to take some time for me to sort of calculate formulas that can do that accurately, especially because these things have a % chance of procking. So if any of you are like Excel masters and are good with Excel sheets and want to take a copy of this and edit it to be able to include these costs, definitely feel free to make any changes to it and let me know, and then I will promote it and on my channel, because those things are really difficult for me to calculate. I have no idea how to calculate, let's say, like a 4% chance of getting 5 raw duck meats. That's really difficult for me to do, but I will work on it and I will get that back to you as soon as possible. So again, a link to this file will be uploaded in the video, so make sure in the video description, so make sure that you check it out and download it if you want. Husbandry on some servers might be different, but on Curios it's not looking good. So if you are on the Curios auction house cluster, I recommend doing something else, actually. Just keep that in mind. And there you have it. That's basically how to use the Excel sheets. It's pretty straightforward and simple, although there are some kinks to work out. I might update it in the future, and I will let you guys know when that happens, maybe release a separate episode. But there are some things to work out still, like the rare procs, for example, golden fleece from sheep, or downy yata, or we haven't even calculated the costs of yata babies or bear babies that can become mounts. You've got things like the costs to make the pens and the cages, the cost of the cages and the price of the animals and things like that. So, I mean, the Excel sheet is not quite finished. It's just basically the labor efficiency of working with the animals. So I hope that's helpful in any case. As you can see over on Curios, you know, basically nothing is profitable. Nothing is worth harvesting at all. If you're going to do husbandry over on Curios, then you just do the water buffalo, and that's about it. There's nothing else that's really making money, and that's mostly due to the cost of the workers' compensation. Over here on Morpheus, the Fresh Start server, I'm probably going to retool this to just be sheep. I might put sheep down on this farm here as well. And then once we get our thatch finished, I might put in more sheep, because right now, that's pretty much the fastest way to make money. For me, I can only log in maybe once or twice a day to check my animals, so sheep are pretty good. I could also do water buffalo, I'm not really sure, but I will continue working on husbandry, and I will continue to bring you more videos in the future. I hope to get some more gold guides in the next few episodes. My plan is to release power leveling guides with gold guides in combination together, so you guys can look forward to that in the future, but they do take time. So I will see you all next time, and for now, Shinobi out.